Okay, Dave, what do we have here?
It's a 1948 Cadillac model 6267X, and the X in all the Cadillac and GM motors stood for convertible. It's been restored. I think, if I recall, this is the second restoration on this car. I bought it in 2003 and completely redid it, upholster-wise, wiring, suspension, everything about the car other than the engine. The engine was in the car when I bought it. There's a lot of things about this car. It's kind of interesting. It's a 12-volt conversion. All the extras in this car are operational. The dash has been redone. The clock is digital. The radio is optional, but I have a 3,000-watt stereo system mounted in the trunk, and you can see that on those speakers on the side, inside the kick walls, the floor. There are speakers there, and the back seat has a molded woofer section behind the back seat, which projects the bass out. So the car is really great to listen to music when you're going 60 miles down the highway with all the noise and the top down, so it projects pretty good, particularly with Doobie Brothers. All the tires are radial, they're Coker. The top is a beautiful tan top, exactly like the tonneau on there. The difference being that on the top there's a large dark green piping all the way around with the glass rear view mirror in it, drop down mirror, window. And
you say you put that up once in a while just to let it stretch?
You know, I put it up for about 4 months, once a year, just to let it stretch out so it doesn't crinkle or doesn't dry out and crack in any way, which no reason it would in my lifetime. But there's also a strap down back there to hold the top down so it doesn't wiggle while you drive and wear holes in it. And
chrome's beautiful.
The chrome is gorgeous.
Stainless.
And all of the insignias and everything are, if not new, pretty close to it.
Okay, show me the gas access again.
The gas access in all of these 48 and 49 Cadillacs are behind the tail light.
Now, didn't the 48 special because they had this trim here, these 3-line trim? Or?
They're called clarets. Huh. And the 48 has 3 clarets. The 49 has none.
You mind popping that trunk for me?
No, not at all.
Wow.
It's a nice spare and extra license plate because I don't put one on the front there. I got some spare parts in here, but I've got a 6-disc changer, a tuner, and a 3,000-watt stereo in the back, so it does the job. And it's all remote control. As the most, you got a gravity switch there for the trunk lights.
And tell me about the paint now. It's a California car, and the paint is multi-stage. What is it again?
It's here's what I've been told about it after I've had a lot of people try to match it for a little touch-up paint. I do know that the base is yellow because I saw pictures of the car when somebody had put the base paint on it. Now, the paint itself is an epoxy, the same type of paint they use for aircraft. So it doesn't chip or anything. If anything, it's going to peel or anything. But what happens is this paint just, I mean, it's like putting glue on metal. So it holds its color well. The paint has no clear coat on it. It's just a wax.
Now tell me again about the dash. The dash was this year that was large, and the dealers didn't like them or something?
This is a 48, and it's the only year, they call it the horseshoe dash or the jukebox dash with the big speedometer thing there. But it's the only year they had it. Dealers complained that it was too difficult to work on because the dash went all the way underneath there and you had to pull parts off in order to get to things. So in 1949, they changed the dash completely. It's a very thin dash. It runs around, but with the paint and the faux finish and everything, you would never be able to do that in the other Cadillacs, because this was such a large dash.
It's awesome. Well, hold on a second. Let's pop this hood. 1 second. Okay, Dave, what do we have here for an engine?
I think it's a Kettering, which is a 1952. It's a 52 engine, drivetrain, and rear end on this car. This was the engine they used in the 49s, and a lot of people liked them better than the others, and vice versa. It's the same body and frame and everything as a 49, so this engine drops down in here real nicely. It's the car is 12 volts. I have resistors in here so we can still run the 6-volt dash and all those things in there. I added to the hydraulic tank to give it a little bit more hydraulic fluid, because we're bringing up the top and the windows and the seats and all that stuff. You need a little more than Cadillac had calculated, particularly if it runs low a little bit. Right here I've added an aluminum cowling to the radiator, because these cars are known to, when you're on a highway and you come to a stop, and they don't seem to cool down very quickly. Mm-hmm. So this cowling helps the radiator stay cool. I have also put in a receptor in there, because the next thing you want to do is come up the highway and pull up to a car show and the radiator dumps all the fluid out on the ground there, mm-hmm. which they do all the time, which is the way they were designed to do.
You said you got the heater that circulates underneath the seat. You get that unhooked because
I disconnected the heater because it runs underneath the front seat where there's a fan, and in the summertime it really heats things up.
Okay, super. Well, let me shut this off real quick and we'll hear it start up.
You got it.
Go ahead and fire it up, Dave. Super, Dave. If you want to shut that, I'd appreciate it.